Well, Sunday. Yeah, it's Sunday. Anyway, Sunday sermon for you, just in the afternoon here. I had a bit of a fire in the backyard. Nothing serious. It was totally in control. Anyway, I was pulling some weeds today and booking some client calls next week. And I had a weekend in Vancouver last weekend where I had the opportunity to film an event for a personal development speaker. I won't name names because it's not needed. And it's not really about that event. It's about what is common in a lot of languages with people and their personal development journeys. And there is this thing that I see as pretty common, and I happen to be in a position to be able to speak from this with at least some level of authority because I've been through my own journey, and we can all say that. So step into your own authority and listen. But I also get the opportunity to video edit all sorts of personal development speakers from all over the world every day, and it's a great role to be in, because I learn a lot from all these people, and I also learn, at least in the way that I see it, ways to make things a heck of a lot simpler and a heck of a lot easier for yourselves, and definitely for myself. Because if you're like me, with the funny hair and the funny beard and all that stuff, you can, well, I won't go into that. Anyway, here's the idea. I'm going to share this for you. This will be an actionable thing that you can take away from this video and improve your life. So get your notepad out and your pen. Because I'm going to talk about the idea of I am not good enough. Okay? Now, this seems, I don't know where this is coming from. I really don't. But it seems like it's everywhere. Everybody, every fucking coach on the planet and their fucking dog and everything else are talking about this thing called I am not good enough, And it's like this feeling of I'm not good enough. It's this thing which just, fucks you up. It's the number one thing that will cause all the crap in your life. Well, here's the thing. Statistically, and I like to work statistically, if it is such an issue, but it is so pervasive, then is it really a problem? So, because this is the thing, like, it's normal, right? It's normal for, me to have hair, as an example, right? It's normal for me to have 5 fingers. It's normal for, like, you to have 5 fingers. It's normal for you to have, 4 limbs, usually, right? Unless something weird happens. But these things are normal, right? And if you look statistically, the majority of people have these attributes. And so, if the majority of people suffer with this thing called, or this feeling that a person then identifies as I am not good enough, well, then, is it really wrong? Like, if it's so pervasive, and it's everywhere, and it infects every part of your friggin' life, is it really wrong? Because if it's everywhere, doesn't it mean that it's normal? Okay, so let's just play with that for a second, because if it is normal, then, maybe we gotta work on that. Maybe that's the thing we gotta, maybe that's the collective fucking bullshit that we all have to deal with and work through, and that makes us all one, man. Like, fuck. Anyway, I don't think that makes us one at all. Here's what I do think. I think people who think they're not good enough and then try and fix that are people that are buying into an amazing amount of judgment towards themselves. Buying it from other fucking people who are making a fucking fortune off of fooling you fucking bastard silly. Okay? Here's the reason why. If you're attempting to do something and you don't feel good enough, we can go and conjecture and make up all sorts of fucking bullshit stories about how that might be, because your fucking amygdala is fucking fear-based and it's always looking for the tiger around the fucking corner and all this crap. We can get as primal as we want, okay? But the reality is, the truth is, that if you feel not good enough, you're probably not. right? And I don't know why that freaks people out. I've had people have blocked me because I've said that. People have unfriended me because I've said that. But I just want you to think about this for a second. I am not good enough. Like, why is that so fucking bad? Why is that wrong? Like, I'll use a very simple example, which we can all resonate with. Especially if you're a guy. Not all of guys, but let's just let's say statistically relevant here. If I'm asked to go make a cake in the kitchen, right now, I am not good enough because I have no fucking clue how to do that, right? But the cool thing is that I at least am smart enough to know I need the ingredients, and I need a recipe, and I need an oven, and I need all the other stuff that's going to be required. So at least I'm smart enough to know that I'm not good enough, and I'm smart enough to know that I can do something about it. Does that make sense? So my suggestion is that anytime you feel not good enough, that's probably perfect. You know, the brain is not stupid. Your psychology is not dumb. Okay? These things are not problems. These are byproducts of natural resonance of your state. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. I would suggest that rather than trying to fix that and fucking spend all your dollars on it, I would say, why don't you pause for a second and ask yourself, why is it okay to not feel good enough? Why is that okay? Why is that perfect? How can that help you? What could that help you become if that were true? How does it benefit you to feel that way? How does it maybe benefit your friends and your family or, you know, other areas of your life to feel not good enough, you know? You get it? Like, here's the thing. I know I have a drum set in my house. I'm borrowing it from Alex Ford. If you don't know, you should follow him. And am I good enough to play Led Zeppelin? Fuck no. Right? I put less than fucking 6 hours on this drum set. Not even that. Probably 2 hours of solid playing. Right? I'm not good enough to play Led Zeppelin. Doesn't mean I can't be good enough with practice. But right now, fundamentally, I'm nowhere near John Bonham. Does that make sense? I can't do it. It's not even possible. But I honor that. That's a respectable thing. That says this is where I'm at and I'm okay with it. Which gets me to think that, you know, if you feel not good enough, the only problem you have with that is your own problem with it. But it's not a problem. It's just an acknowledgement of where you're at. And guess what? You can always grow. You can always learn. You can always buy a drum tab book and figure it out. You can always buy a guitar book and read the tablature and fucking practice. You can always improve. But here's what I notice. I notice that people that are addicted to getting away from I'm not good enough. These people tend to really stunt their fucking growth under the illusion that they are good enough. And it fucks you up. I've just noticed that again and again and again. So be okay with I'm not good enough. Like I had a conversation, historically I had a conversation with somebody that was spouting this off. It was like their number one message to the world of, just say you're good enough. Just say I am enough. I am enough, man. I am enough. I am enough. Yeah. Just keep saying it. Well, why not base your perceptions of yourself and your love and appreciation for yourself based on evidence, and be willing and be open and be able, because you love yourself, to be able to acknowledge where you're actually not enough. Because at least then you're telling the truth. If the truth hurts, it's because you don't love yourself. So love yourself. Acknowledge that you're not enough. You're not. It's okay. There's nothing fucking wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Because you have an infinite opportunity to learn and grow as a person. And it gets a lot easier to grow and learn as a person when you actually acknowledge the truth of where you're at. And stop trying to blind yourself into some delusion and illusion that you've bought into that says I shouldn't feel that way. I'm going to suggest this. Every way that you feel right now is a perfect, absolutely perfect, I'd say even divinely fucking orchestrated state and place for you to be right now. It's absolutely perfect. It is a total encapsulating representation of your values. And if you judge that, you're basically saying your values are wrong. Ouch. Ooh. No. No. God, no. Don't do it. But it's true. I would suggest that your values are absolutely right. The way you feel is absolutely right. And you deserve and should feel that way. And there's nothing wrong with that. Trying to run from that, that's basically saying that your brain is a fuck up. Just ask yourself that right now. Ask yourself internally. Just go, is my brain a fuck up? How's that feel? Probably doesn't feel very good, right? Because you know it's not. Your brain is a perfectly operating organism. It has a very long-term evolutionary strategy behind it. And everything it's doing and everything it's feeling is perfectly orchestrated for you, currently, right now, as you are, presently. So if you can be present with me for a second, just acknowledge yourself. Acknowledge both where you are enough, based on evidence, and acknowledge where you're not enough. Tell the truth. And then make a plan to grow and learn. Or learn and grow. I guess learn and grow, really. If I'm any evidence of this, I'll share my own story. I have personally, in my life, fought the feeling of I'm not enough for a very long time. And eventually I got smart and I said, well, if this is so constant and so pervasive in me, but also everybody, and there's thousands of fucking seminars and books on this crap, well, what if I just spin it around and I loved myself for it? See, everybody, it's weird, man, but there's a lot of people that just tend to really want to hate themselves. And there's a benefit to that too. But I've just predominantly found that most people have no idea how to appreciate who they are. They have no idea how to appreciate themselves. They have no idea how to actually acknowledge what's good in their life. And as a consequence, they complain, and then they try and deal with their complaints. It's like, no, you're complaining because you have a lack of this over here. Hey, it's called appreciation. Yeah, right? So we're all trying to work on the problem, but the problem is not the problem. The problem is a byproduct of not loving your life. My suggestion, as I did, is to ask, how does not feeling good enough and acknowledging that I'm not enough benefit and serve my life? And write down maybe 20, 30, 50, 100, I don't know, answers to that question. I only did about 10, and then I clicked it, and I was like, fuck, that's actually perfect. Because I recognized if at least I acknowledge where I'm not enough, at least I acknowledge the potential I have for growth. I hope that's helpful for you.